Professor Vasist has very nicely covered about the capital requirement and the permissible finance limit, etc. But friends, Dr. Vasist has very rightly said, but let me take to another ground what Dr. Vasist has said, how this world of permissible bank finance, you all are manager credit and senior manager credit and you are economic students now. How this permissible bank finance, PBF, what you call it, the analytical statement which you daily prepare while calculating the limit of a borrower, how did it come into existence? Do you know anyone of you about this? You may not be knowing. Let me tell you, if you go back to 1970, there used to be a system in the banking industry. What they always say is what the borrower wants. Suppose the borrower comes to you and says, sir, I want a limit of 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 100 crores, 1000 crores. As a branch manager, as a field man, we had always been saying, no, if you want 10 lakhs, I'll give you 8 lakhs. If you want 10 crores, no, I'll give you 7 crores. I'm talking somewhere from till 1977. Okay? Then one great personality who was the chairman of Hindustan Lever, the multinational company, Mr. P.L. Tandon. A committee was formed under the chairmanship of Mr. P.L. Tandon. It's called the Tandon Committee Report. Have you heard this name?
Yes.
How many of you? What about those that went for lunch? Anyhow, the Tandon Committee Report came, and Mr. Tandon was really a brain, He turned around the Hindustan Lever, and then the government thought, why I should not give a new shape to the banking industry. Totally new, like I was telling in the break session to the boys and girls, You have not to think on one direction, you have to think on multi-direction, A man from Hindustan Lever coming out to the banking industry and checking the scenario. Think what a great man he is. He framed a committee that is called Tandon Committee Report. He came out with a scheme, with a policy, which is called Tandon Committee Report, Method 1, Method 2, Method 3 of lending. And that is called permissible bank finance. Rather than arguing with the customer, no 10 lakhs, no 8 lakhs, no 28 crores, he came out with a systematic approach of lending. That is called the permissible bank finance. Later on, even after 10-15 years, another committee was formed. I'll tell you method 1, method 2, method 3 of lending, what Mr. Tandon gave you. Because you can't climb the ladder, the 10th ladder at the very first year, He said, the first method should be simple in lending. I'm not giving you the technical words. Okay? Very, very simple. The second method of lending was a bit tougher, strong, like Dr. has said just now. Okay? Third was very, very tough. All to strengthen the banks and to strengthen the customer. After about 15-20 years, another committee report came that is called the Chore Committee Report. CHORE, Chore Committee Report. I'm talking all of the credit part, nothing on the deposit part, okay? So as far as the permissible bank finance is concerned, earlier there used to be a Tandon Committee Report, went for 2 decades, then Chore Committee Report came. But the aim and the idea which is prevailing today exactly remain the same about the need-based finance. What is the permissible bank finance? What is a need-based finance? as a practical and prudent banker and a financial analyst or a technical analyst, what you're doing as a chartered accountant, you have to see from that angle. Are you with me? This is called permissible bank finance. If you person requires, let me tell you, 10 lakh of rupees of loans, MSME. You argue with him, you say, no, I have to do it. I will not give you more than 7 lakhs or 7.5 lakhs. And he knows pretty very well that his unit after his contribution, that is called the promoter contribution, cannot be started for less than 11-12 crores, lakhs, and he has 4-5 lakhs, 2 lakhs in his pocket, What will he do? Tell me. You give him 7.5 lakhs, 2 lakhs as a promoter money is holding with him. The project which he starts knitting or anything, embroidery or whatever you call it, costs around 11 lakhs. What will you do with 7.5 lakhs of yours? Give me a simple plot. Tell me.
You have to borrow from money lender.
What else? Tell me, think over it. I'm talking to you something practical, now I'm coming to the practical points at your level. Number one, he says he will go to the money lenders. Fine. The cost to the money lender, the mortgage of the security to the money lender, the hypothecation of the security to the money lender, or he will use this 7.5 lakhs for some other activity. This happens in more than 90% of the cases. Why our loans are going bad? I'm not talking the large advances. There is a program convened by Professor Mishra about the MSME. So I'm talking the mid-size advances. They go bad because we as a professional, or we are not so professional banker, we just argue with him and squeeze him and give him the minimum possible amount with which he can start the project, or he will go with the second-hand machine or the third-hand machine, which will go depreciated, which will stop working after 6, 7, 8 months. Okay? So that is the reason Mr. Tandon, Mr. K. Tandon, formed this permissible bank finance PBF formula in the banking industry. Little bit revision in this was done by the Chore committee, another personality in the banking industry. Then later on, all these concepts came, which you say the debt equity ratio, the DSCR, the net worth of the client, lot many, this adverbs and all these things came, which according to me as a practical banker, doesn't convey much of a sense, except one word, which is called the viability of the project. Okay? So when you are a manager in a branch or a regional office or circum office, you assess a proposal, see whether this will be viable, whether it's showing because there is a pressure from the branch manager or the officer, no, I will give you this amount, is taking the loan, will he be able to buy the machine? Will he be able to buy the raw material? This is very, very important. Always and always give the need-based finance to the borrower. For this, I always say in all the meetings, wherever I had gone in hundreds of meetings, that you must interview the customer. What is happening in the banking industry today? Like Professor Mishra told me in lending tactics and the pre-sanction. I'll talk on both the issues, this plus the next session. Till you say stop, I'll stop immediately. The most important point comes, you interview a customer. I go to some examples. I was heading the largest branch of my previous bank. I get a call from somewhere, so person is coming, please give him 2 crores of loan. In a branch where we used to sanction 1,000 crores and 1,500 crores, once you all will work in the treasury, you will open your strength, you know. You will not feel 1,000 crore or 5,000 crore, but all the diseases will come, blood pressure, heart and sugar and everything. You know. So anyhow, he came to me, he said, I want 2 crores of loan. I said, fine, you take, but what do you want to do with this? He said, I want to start a small unit of a cardboard, you know, Katra ke boxes ki banani hai. Have you prepared a report for this? Some. I never asked for all this. You know what happens for the chartered accountants? Let me tell you, you know, how the PBF is calculated. You know very well. For others, let me tell you, you tell to any chartered accountant that I want a limit of 30 crores or 40 crores or 50 crores. Just feed, you know, it goes in the reverse direction. They feed in their system 50 crores of limit, they will give you full figures which will satisfy the banker. Sale will be this much, this will be this much, cost will be this much. Bank will say, fine, okay, you go ahead. Those days are now over, let me tell you. Because I was in the LSs and all number of departments I worked like this. You know. So when I asked him, the point which I am emphasizing is, whosoever comes to you for a loan, just spend some time with him. 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever is available. Talk to him what he or she wants to start the business. Like that person told me, he wants to start a unit with the Katra box or cardboard or whatever it is. I said, fine. What will be the sales? Approximate sales. What shall be the profit? How will you repay the loan as a banker? Normally we ask these questions. Who is the supplier of the machine and the raw material? Who are the persons to whom you are going to sell your product? He said, sir, I will find out these things. I said, I got a call from somewhere and you want disbursement today, you don't know about all these things. Think over it, then come to me. Because I am one of the person who never says no. I try to help, I mean, not to a big industrial house, I may say no, but to a medium-sized customer, I always support him. I have always supported in my life. I said, you think over it, today night, come to me tomorrow. He came after 3-4 days. He said, no sir, I want to start a unit of the hosiery. I said, fine. I sent him to my chief manager credit. I said, just talk to him. And both came to me. Same thing. He said, sir, I heard that gives a good profit, that company, the hosiery industry, you know. But I have to, do you have any technical expertise about that? Do you know something about the technicalities of it? No sir, I don't know. I said, if I give you 2 crores today, the meter of the bank will start from today itself. The interest rate will start from today itself. Like Professor has very rightly said, the cost overrun. That is a very important point. He said, sir, fine, again I'll think over it. He came again after a week or 10 days. He quoted some other industry, same story repeated. The conclusion was, he just wanted 2 crores for some different activity, for purchase of land or whatever it is. Let's not talk about that, you know. Thereafter he stopped that. A genuine customer, I never say a borrower, he's always a customer, you know. Whether a depositor or a borrower, those days are gone, the borrower days are gone now, you know. Then they used to come to the bank. Now we say bankers should go to the customer, you know, to take advance. Is it so? This is what your circle head, digital manager says like this. Go to the customer, talk to him, give him advance. So the point is, as a customer, we have to go talk to the customer. If we will not talk to the customer, let me tell you, the account will become a non-performing account in a very short time. Interviewing the customer, knowing the activity is very important. You have calculated the permissible bank finance. He says, okay, my turnover will be 30 crores. You say current assets are so much, working capital gap is so much. I tell you this, I don't want to take you the technicalities of it. The working capital gap is so much. This is the promoter contribution. So your permissible bank finance is 70% of this. But again, if he doesn't know what his activity is going to start, what is the future of that activity, then he will not be able to survive. Including the customer, note down this thing. Never hesitate to have a cup of tea with the customer. If you are having a cup of tea with the customer, you will really know a lot about him, about his family background, about his business, about his intentions, about his integrity, and everything will come. Okay? Clear? Now the point comes. A person who wants to start a medium-sized industry or a unit, what is the infrastructure available? Normally what happens, in today's stage, the young generation entrepreneur, and I always promote the first generation entrepreneur, let me tell you. And as a young person, as a young entrant in the banking industry, scale 1 and 2, I could say they are a young entrant. First generation entrepreneur means ancestral business. They're not taking over the business. Am I clear? Am I audible?
Yes.
They're not taking over the business from others. Okay, I'll do it. They're not taking over the business from their forefathers. They are the real, this is what our Honorable PM always says. We want first generation entrepreneur. It can come, you say migration of people from rural to the semi-urban, semi-urban to the urban, urban to the metro. Why? Because the opportunities are not there. So once this concept is taken into account, he wants to start, let us say, take any type of a small, medium unit of 5 crores, 10 crores, 10 lakhs, any industry you say, take, where is the raw material? About the power, the basic necessity, the technical expertise available with the promoter. If he doesn't have, does he have, or she has got a sufficient provision to engage a person for that? What shall be the cost? What shall be the expenditure aspect? Then the point comes about the marketing. Who are the real consumers of that product? Or who are the real buyers of that product? In India what is happening, the failure of most of the MSME or medium-sized industries, they have enough production, but the cost of transportation is so high, they are not able to survive. And the cost of transportation, either for the input, for the raw material, or for the output for the finished product to the seller is so high, they are not able to survive, they are not able to bear. If the promoter has the market available immediately, nearby, his cost is reduced drastically. That is the reason we came out with the concept of the suggestion which my team has given recently is the cluster-based approach. What is the cluster-based approach? How many of you know about it? Tell me. What is the cluster-based approach? Don't know. Why are you not stopping me? Yes. You are old bankers, you have the 8-10 years experience. Yes. Cluster-based approach, my dear friend, is what is the main activity carried out in a particular area. Okay? If you go to Yamunanagar Bank, let us say of Haryana, you will find the plywood industries. If you go to a near bank of it, you will find all sports activity products are sold and manufactured over there. If you go to deep of Tanjore side, where I went for rural branch training in 76, 77, You have that cotton industry, large hundreds and thousands and lakhs of industries in that land. You go to your Srinagar, you will find the boats are pretty important, and all this, like your fruit production and all this dry food, etc., whatever it is. So awareness, if you go for a cluster approach, what happens? You know what exactly is the need of the customer. If he says he wants to produce this thing, he has so much of area. You compare the similar activity done by another person to whom you are given the finance, as a borrower or as a customer, you can very well judge whether this is justified or not. My friends, if you really look into this, your loan will never go back. Then the point comes, when you are lending to a person, the knowledge, the awareness is really very important. In our society, in our system, any person, bankers play with, I always say, in every meeting, we play with the funds of the public, and I write in capital letters that we are nobody except the trustees of those people. When you or me or I or he or she is a trustee of somebody else's fund, we have to take extra precaution. We cannot speculate with the funds of those people, those who have earned those money after doing a hard work. As I said, whose deposit is it? It's only of the individuals with the banking industry. No deposit of a businessman, no deposit of a big industrial house. See your books, see your reports in IT and everything, you will not find a single penny. So when you act as a trustee with a friend, you have to be very cautious. The next point comes. You have to support the customer. Always believe. You should have a faith and confidence. What he says, if you don't have a knowledge, go to his student. Go to his site. He wants to start an education institute. I remember a boy, I gave him 20,000 rupees in 98, Today he has a limit of more than 300 crores. Two big, vast universities he has made. At that time he was 18, 19 years old, might be 30, 35 years old now. 300 crores means you can well estimate what a strong person he is. You should have, like I said, you are a man as a banker, you are a man of HR, you are a person of HR, you are a person of finance, you are a person of marketing. You should have all the capabilities and capacity, and you have, provided you try to go into the deep of it. You meet the customer, talk to him. Those days are gone now. When we used to say, don't go to the customer house, don't go to the customer factory, some charge. If you want to go, how will you understand? Tell me. What is the study background? And always believe in the principle. As a professional banker, you are no more a lender, you are a partner with him. When you are lending something, you are giving advances to him, you are an equal partner in this business. What is the duty of a partner of a unit or a factory or a business? You know very well. You have to take equal care of that unit. Another important point comes. Sometimes, because of the calamity or the marketing or because of the ancillary industries, the businesses get some difficulty, constraints about the funds. About the book debts, which my bankers will say, book debts, all of you know very well. What is book debts? From whom you have to take the money. Okay. Creditors to whom you have to give the money. So, if he has sold something on credit, this is called the book debts. Okay, I'm talking about the customer, the borrower. I don't want to use the word borrower, I don't like that word. The customer whom you have given the funds, if he supplies some goods to somebody else, he is supposed to make the payment in 30 days, he is not able to make the payment in 30 days, You go to that, you say, if you want to do it, I'll declare the account NPA. He says, my unit is running, my sales are going on, my 30, 40, 50, 100,000 employees are working. How can you declare account as NPA? You say, no, 19 days norms are there. 30 days, 60 days, and SMA 1 or SMA 2, whatever you call it nowadays. So, if a customer requires, note down this point, some additional dose. Additional dose in the sense, you have already given him 10 lakhs or 10 crores or 50 crores or 100 crores. If you find that he is a genuine one, his difficulties are genuine, don't hesitate to support him. Recommend to your competent authority with the reasons that he has this limit, this is the problem, the integrity of the customer is good, and that is the reason we recommend this additional amount may be given, which is sometimes is called the ad hoc limit, sometimes you add in the PBI, permissible bank finance. There are different approaches by different banks, but don't restrict him. If a young entrepreneur, because you know very well, he's experiencing, not experiencing, he's working hard, he's trying to take his unit ahead. I always say, if your turnover is, let us say, 10,000 crores, some people came to me, they were talking about seeking some advice. I said, I don't believe on 10-15% growth. I believe in at least 40% growth in all parameters. That's possible. You take the calculated risk. The customer will take the calculated risk. As a professional banker, you have to judge it, you have to evaluate. You have to follow up, you have to monitor. These things are very vital today. Only then, that today's industry, what we have been talking in India, small and medium industries will be able to survive. This is a time, tough time, when other countries are dumping the things, and our small and medium industries, they are in problem. You have to support, if they are going for modernization, I was asking you during the lunch time. If you replied very rightly, some of you, if he wants to go for the modernization of his plant, it's maybe 10 years old or 7 years old, or the sale machines or the new product has come. He has good intentions, his integrity is good, he wants to, he's active also. He has the expertise available. Why as a banker, professional banker, we should not support him? But support him, write all those things on the paper, these are the reasons, you have interviewed, you have talked to him, justified as such, if it's in your power, do it or recommend to the competent authority. Only then the young industries will be able to survive. Cluster approach, knowing the customer, the integrity of the customer, the need-based finance, no parameter, first method, second method, this committee, that committee, nothing today. What exactly you study, there is a data called CMIA, Yesterday when I was talking to the VC of the university, I told him, you people should consult the CMIA data. Each type of industry, you have that. These people will tell you, down. You see or Google will find everything, There are certain charges for that, you have to pay certain charges, annual, very, very nominal charges. All our CS, you must have got it,
So we have
PNB, everybody has subscribed, all the banks, You get each type of industry. What is the scenario of that industry, the next decade? What are the sales of competitive industries of the same type of activity? You can have an overall view. This is our age, you have to go into the deep of it. Another important point which I want to tell all of you, as a pre-sanction or as a tactics or the post-sanction follow-up, please don't delay proposal. If a loan proposal comes to you, you keep 5 days in your drawer as a manager. After 5 days, you give it to the officer. He says, okay, let me keep for another 7 days. then by the time you delay it, the more pressure will come on you from the higher authorities. Why you have delayed the proposal? And our branch managers, they come under pressure and sanction the proposal. Believe me, whatever the proposal comes, I have been doing, no file on my table remains pending after 5 o'clock. And I don't sit after 5 o'clock. During the day I work sincerely and honestly in the office. It has been my record. Maybe 1 or 2 days my wife knows very well. I might have worked in Sunday in Bangalore, but otherwise normally I don't work on Sunday. I never call my secretary on Sunday or something. And I clear 100% files. So loan cases, you get a proposal today. It cannot be done the same day. I know very well. Study it. Call your officer. Call the borrower the next day. First you study yourself. Do your own homework. Then call the borrower or the customer. Give him, this is lacking. These are my requirements. Let him give time, whatever he requires. 2 days, 3 days, week or 10 days. Come with the formality. See it. Visit the unit. Visit the site. Take a decision on the spot. Let me tell you, your loan will never go back. This should be the approach. If you have any views on this, I would like to listen from you. Tell me. I'm not coming to the authority, a lot of points are there. Yes. Anything? Am I clear to you? Am I audible to you? Or I'm not speaking about the heart within the same, am I at par with you?
Yes.
No. You have taken a decision to lend. The next point comes, which is very, very important, is the verification of securities. In our technical banking term, which I have been listening for the last 30-40 years, is end-use verification of funds. If you have given a loan for buying a machine of cement for this X-ray or something like that, if you buy some other machine at a 50% price, you are supposed to talk to the customer. Where the remaining funds are gone. What is the life of this machine? What was the life of that machine? Because our chartered accountant has prepared a projection for the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. End-use verification is very, very important. If you will not go for the end-use verification, disburse the loan, issue the draft, my job is over. Please note, your job is not over. You have to monitor at irregular intervals. I am not using a regular interval, note it. Surprise visit to the unit. Not one, I can go to 1,000 cases, lakhs of cases, which have gone. I was senior manager inspection for the disciplines allowance, but I didn't like it, I didn't like the department. The department should be to support the people, but I know how the frauds are committed in the banking industry. So if you, and this can be avoided easily. Once you have done all this thing what I have told you, and you go for end-use verification, you are commonly pretty safe. The next stage comes about the operations in the account. You as a branch manager always say poor branch manager, because I was senior regional manager in a branch, top of the hills, 8 months in a year or 9 months in a year, there used to be a snowfall and all. But our branch manager used to be there, branch manager, branch officer, manager, he was a PM, come clerk, come chaprasi, come guard, come manager, come everything. He cannot go and verify. He has to be in the branch. He has to open the shutter also. You see the operations in the account. That is very, very important. You can operations in the sense, how many transactions he is doing in the account. What type of transactions, like Kaushal was talking to me about the forensic audit, of some of the companies. This is the multinational company that is working, they're doing it, What is that? Is it not a forensic audit? It's called a trail of transactions. The technical English word is a trail of transactions.
You know what happens? Loan is taken from you, and later on the funds are diverted somewhere else. The moment you doesn't require much of time, hardly half a minute in the evening, if you just turn around your accounts of the borrower or the customers, you will get 100%, not 99, 100% information about his account. Whether he is doing all cash transactions, whether the checks are deposited, whether RTGS is going somewhere else, whether the funds are remitted abroad, whether he has sent the funds, sold the goods abroad and has come out back or not. All these things you will come to know from the operations of that account. I'm not talking here about the syndicated advances or the big advances, hundreds of crores, where there is a lead bank, there is not anything, JLA and all this thing. This, for the time permits, tomorrow we'll discuss over this issue. Today I'm restricting myself to this particular aspect only. If you really want to see your account alive, survive, you want to help a customer, you guide him where these funds are gone. Just pick up the phone and give him a ring. Be fine from there. He's aware that my manager is monitoring my account. If he doesn't operate the account for a few days, give him a call. What is the position? I'm coming for a cup of tea. He will be active. Why the manager is coming for a cup of tea? Am I wrong somewhere?
Yes, sir.
Do bankers agree with me or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know the time constraint, but you have to spare the time. I know the limitations. I have worked as a branch manager. I have opened the shutter also as a manager. But things will improve. The way the IT is improving, the way ATMs are coming, the way the people are coming less in the bank, footfall, what you call it in the technical things, footfalls are less in the brick and mortar branches, through the ATMs and all, things will improve. But as a trustee, I use the word trustee, don't forget this word in your life. You are acting as a trustee on behalf of somebody for the funds which are lending. And if you won't lend, you won't survive. You won't be able to survive. Where from you will get the salary? Where from you will pay the rent and the electricity bill and all this thing of the branch? You have to lend. And the difference is called the spread. It's already as a part of your income. Am I clear? Is it theoretical or practical? Tell me. Possible. Are you people doing or not? Tell me. If not, why? Let me find out a solution. I'll frame a policy for that. Yes.
Sir, I was reading a speech by Dr. Mr. Rajan, where he was talking about extending credit only, and particularly talking about small credit lending. He mentioned a point like traditionally money lenders used to be in the society, they used to lend the localites. Because obviously he will be knowing the economic situation of those families, so he has a better incentive to finance those people. So on the similar front, he suggests that banks should also be having such kind of approach or system in place, like in the rural banks, if they are there, the managers should be like a local personnel. If he is being, despite of placing him in a city or far-flung area, if he is placed in that his own town, I mean, there the information asymmetry that we talk about, that can be bridged. That can be bridged. I mean, that suggestion is quite relevant also. But when it comes to
not relevant, a very strong suggestion.
Yes, sir.
And
I'll
give you the reply. I mean, not reply, practical thinking. Yeah.
Sir, but when it comes to practically applying that, it's not happening because individuals are not saturated. With the bonds. I mean, no one will be willing to get shifted from urban locality to such kind of area. So how can we bridge that gap? I mean,
Good
definitely,
question.
practically, it sounds feasible, but to what extent can we execute that idea?
All of you clear about this question? Who is not clear?
Yes, sir.
Your MD is clear. He says, if a customer is in a rural branch, a borrower is in a rural branch, he wants to take loan, your existence is not there as a bank, then the money lenders lends him at a very exorbitant rate. Dr. Rajan said banker should come forward and lend it. So what he said? What do you mean? Nutshell? This is what you mean, huh? Yeah, correct. You know what is happening? Probably you didn't listen carefully my first talk, you know. I said money lenders are lending at an exorbitant rate. Right, I said? Because I'm guessing if time constant is there, professor will say you go out, you are lending. So, you know, you lend at an exorbitant rate, they have been lending, you know, 30-35%. It's a fact, you know, I've seen from my own eyes. I put a cap in the bank, the spread should not be more than 7%. And 7% keeping in view because they have to keep large manpower to recover that. That was the only reason. Otherwise, I put up a note to the board, it should not be more than 4%. Now, coming to your point, you have very rightly said, a bank or a branch of any bank which is not there in a remote area, I said a word unbanked population to you. This is what the Honorable PM always says. Go to the unbanked population. In India, a lot of things came forward for this. Number one, the brick and mortar branch. Brick and mortar, you understand? Respond back, you know, otherwise my stamina will come down. Don't understand brick and mortar? Yes, tell me, yes, what? No, not yet. Yeah. A bit louder, I'm louder, yeah. Yes, very good. You know, physical constructing or starting a branch. In that case, you have a rent cost, you have electricity, you have power, you have water, you have all those costs available. Correct? You find from the records, from the information gathered, in a particular village, let us there are 50 or 100 persons living or going to borrow the funds, probably brick and mortar will not be viable. Okay? That is the reason the brick and mortar could not get a success in such areas. Okay? Then the point came about the satellite offices. Satellite offices again, this could not work because of a lot of IT problems and a lot of other things, internal things. The third model which was quite effective was the BC model. Have you heard the BC model? Yes. The business correspondent. Okay? The RBI, are you clear? The BC model is a business correspondent. The Central Bank of a country, Reserve Bank of India that is, they permitted that the bankers are authorized to appoint the business correspondent, maybe the Kirana shop wala in the village or any person from the village, to act on behalf of the bank, go to the particular customers, accept the deposit, and later on they permitted him to take some advances also. Right? Clear? But that model, to be very frank and honest with you, has largely been failed. There is a name, I was telling the HR person who is doing MBA in HR, you know, if you pay 1,000 rupees per month salary to a person, you know, to go for 30 days in a cycle or bicycle or whatever it is in the rural villages, will it work for you? Tell me. No. And you can't increase the salary. You have to see the cost aspect also. It's a big problem. How does it work? You know how the BC model works? There's a POS machine. POS machine means point of sale machine. What is that point? Has any one of you seen the POS machine?
Yes, sir.
Who has seen? What is that? Tell me. What is the POS machine? This, that boy, she or he can. You know, I've seen a lot of girls in the villages doing this excellent job in the southern part. Southern part it is successful. What is that POS machine? It is a point of sale machine. The the boy, the girl who's working as a BC or BT model, you know, she goes or he goes over there because illiteracy is zero. I mean, it's not there. You know, they have a machine in the same language, a small machine of this size, like you swap your cards, ATM machine. I mean, this debit credit card swapping machine, same size. You know, he will put his or her, the customer, thumb over that. Machine will speak. Machine बोलेगी आप क्या चाहते हैं? It recognizes the voice. That person who doesn't know anything about that गाँव वाला, he says मेरे को 200 रुपए निकालने हैं, मेरे को 500 रुपए का नोट चाहिए, या 500 रुपए निकालने हैं, 200 रुपए जमा कराने हैं. Machine उसको repeat करती है, it will repeat same language, whether it's Tamil or Kannada or whatever the state language is there. Lot of vendors are there, Tata, then not many hundreds of vendors are there. Will say, repeat the thing. हाँ, आप 200 रुपए निकालना चाहते हैं. Then BC का उसमें कार्ड लगता है, yes, thumb impression, then borrow का लगता है, 100 रुपीस वो दबाता है. फिर मशीन बोलेगी, हाँ आप 100 रुपए निकालना चाहते हैं, हाँ, और वो 100 रुपए से अकाउंट में डेबिट हो जाएंगे, स्लिप आ जाएगी और उसको 100 रुपए BC दे देगा. Okay? In this way we started the working. This is called the financial inclusion. Like the PM says, not only deposit, it says it's an inclusive growth. You have to lend also. Inclusive means total growth, you know. Okay? Not only deposit, advances, other things also whatever you want. You know. Now we wanted to go like, I was on the board of NPCI, you know. Like she said recently, you know. NPCI, you know, who was the chairman once when I was the director in NPCI? Mr. Narayana Murthy. His style of functioning, I've never seen in my life. You know, the way he works, the way he convenes a meeting. You know. I tell you someday, you know, how he convenes a meeting. Infosys is not like that. You know. So anyhow, the machine says you want to withdraw, and probably they do the transaction, but not successful because BCs they work for 10, 15, 20 days, 30 days, leave it, they send it bye, we cannot work. It was not successful. What to do? Your aim is very high. You want to go to the rural areas. You want to help them unbanked people. The inclusive growth. What is the solution? You cannot open a brick and mortar branch. You cannot open a central office. The BD model has failed. You know, failed means not such a great success. What is the alternative available? Tell me. There is an alternative, which has been done to some extent, hardly 5-10%. They are lending at 30% is what it says. I introduced a scheme, you know, when I was a SLBC convener for Haryana and Punjab, then I was FGM for all these 4-5 states, you know, here. The debt swap scheme. Debt swap scheme means whatever he owes to the money lender, 25,000 or 30. Initially there was a, then I fought, anyhow that is a different story. The scheme means whatever he owes to the money lender at 30, 40, 50%, then we'll pay that amount to the money lender. We'll take a letter from the money lender that he has not to pay anything, and that will be given as a loan to that particular person at a nominal rate of interest. Okay? This is called, which Professor you just now, you know, that swapping, you know. I mean, swapping is a big word, you know. You have futures, options, collars, lot many derivative products, thousands of products. You know, then probably that swap scheme doesn't work, but then the bank is not there, how it can work, you know. Ultimately, the solution is the post offices in India. Tell me any village in India, any corner of India, where the post offices are not there. And they are the real man, the postmaster or the duckman or whosoever goes there, who can do a real KYC, know your customer, which is very, very important today. Am I right or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the suggestion to the top bosses was, why not to convert the post offices into bank? all these licenses which have been given to some of the banks, to open the bank, 3 or 4 have backed out. We will not open it, because of lot many reasons, which I'll tell you someday, But the post offices are within your control, within your management. If you convert the post offices into the banks, all these problems will be sorted out. But the most important point is, whatever we do in our here, we do in a very hazard manner, without framing a particular policy. It has to be done gradually. Do you know that in India we have 1,52,53,000 post offices? 1 lakh, I'm giving you authentic data, I wrote this letter. And out of 1.52 lakhs post offices, 1.47 lakhs are in rural and semi-urban areas. They are there till their whole life, the post office people, that he knows each and every person by name, his forefathers and everybody. He can do a better know your customer, KYC. Do it in a gradual manner, and your dream of going to the unbanked area will have a 100% success. Okay? Clear? Are you clear? Any other question? Anything else? Yes? Kaushal? You got a lot of points, sir, you're telling me. Yes?
I would suggest to all the bankers that you have a social here. If you have some problems with the branch, if you are facing something like that, you can ask him, because you will not get an opportunity to meet such a person who has such an experience in banking. So it is a great opportunity, and you have an open session and keep asking him questions which will help you your area of operations.
I hope they will not curse me. Their time is over for lunch, anyhow. I'll take another 2 minutes, The last point and the most important point comes about refacement of your account. Okay? What Professor was talking just now about the stress assets, the NPA of this thing. When we can do for a big industrial house a scheme like it's called like 5:25, then why not for a poor borrower who say he or she has a genuine problem, we are refacing the installments rather than 500 rupees per month because of this problem, 400 rupees per month. Make it officially, the account will never be NPA. Never hesitate to come out with the factual position. Bring it in black and white, record it, send it to your higher authorities. If you are competent, it's within your power to get decision. If it is not, recommend to the next higher authority, provided you are satisfied. Your accounts, your small accounts, or MSME accounts, or mid-sized accounts, I tell you, much burden on as a trustee on you. Trustee, you understand what I mean the word, rather than big NPA advances. They are the person who really will make in India your dream successful. The cottage industry, small and cottage industries, handicraft industries. This is what the export you can do today. The big type of products, they are being sent to India, they are being dispatched to India, they are being dumped to India, But your cottage, handicraft, art, like, if you go to Kashmir Valley or anywhere, your products, you have a monopoly for that. Support those products. Your exports and all this thing will increase drastically. I say the forex reserve, which is $367 billion 2-3 days back, will jump like anything. You will not have a tension of redemption of $26 billion in the next quarter. But you have to support the activity which is really helping the young generation, the mid-sized businessman. This is what the aim of the banking industry should be today, and you will be able to properly utilize your funds as a trustee, give to the proper man, a need-based man whose integrity is good, he wants to carry on, he wants to export, he wants to sell somewhere else, he has a market for that, and wants to repay the loan. This should be your thinking, this should be an idea as an economist, as a financial analyst, as a HR man, sees genuine problem and support that man. Thank you very much. If you have any question, ask me. Professor, I'm late by 18 minutes. Sorry, I've exceeded by 17, 18 minutes. Anyhow. Yeah. Anything? Yes, open house. Ask anything, whatever you have in your mind. Your economics, your finance, your math, I've done all the courses. Theoretical, practical, both. Yes.
Sir, you are talking about the handicrafts loan, hand loan cases.
Yeah.
Sir, you are talking about Kashmir. I was posted in Kashmir, sir.
Good.
So mainly मेरी ब्रांच में सर प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर के लोन थे वहाँ पे. सर ऑल आर बैड. तो बैंक ने राइट आउट कर दिए थे. जैसे आप कह रहे हैं प्री सैंक्शन, पोस्ट सैंक्शन सारा कुछ किया होता है, कुछ भी होता है. व्हाट दे डू सर, एक ऑफिसर का कितना वहाँ पे टेन्योर होता है, 2 इयर्स होता है. तो 1 साल तो उसको ऐसे ही लग जाता है. फिर 1 साल वो मतलब कुछ कस्टमर्स को जान पाता है. वो क्या करते हैं, लोन लेते हैं, 5 साल का होता है मिनिमम. तो 1 साल वो चलाएंगे उसको, उसके बाद दे डिडंट टर्न अप टू द बैंक. सर आते नहीं, किस्तें नहीं डालते. और ओवर वहाँ पे इतनी प्रॉब्लम है, आप जा नहीं सकते, मतलब फील्ड में नहीं जा सकते. अब प्रॉब्लम पता है कश्मीर की क्या है क्या नहीं. वो पीपल यूज टू हो गए हैं कि हमें लोन लेना है, बस वो खाना है और सब्सिडी उसकी हजम करनी है, लोन बैड हो गया. अच्छा, ऊपर बैंक के पास क्या होता है कि टारगेट्स आते हैं, नहीं ये आपको इतने केस आए हैं, आपको ये करना ही करना है. आपके पुराने केस नहीं चुकते, उनके नोटिस निकालते, आपकी बारी नहीं आती. नए वाले आप कैसे करेंगे? ये मेरे को पूछना है. दूसरा और मेन ये प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर के लोन स्पॉन्सर्ड, जो स्पॉन्सरिंग एजेंसीज हैं जो हमारे पास स्पॉन्सर करके लोन लेते हैं. सर मेरे को नहीं पता ये पैसे लेते हैं कि नहीं लेते हैं, क्या होता है. उनको काफ़ी टाइम लगता है बारोवर को कि वहाँ से अपना केस आगे भेजने के लिए. हमारे पास केस आता है, विदिन 4 to 5 डेज हम उसको क्लियर कर देते हैं. तो लेकिन उन्होंने पैसे वहाँ भी चढ़ाए होते हैं, पता नहीं डायरेक्शन ऑफ फंड क्या होती है, हम पूरा मतलब विजिट भी किया होता है साइट. आफ्टर दैट इतना कुछ करने के बाद लोन क्लियर हो जाता है. तो इस केस में हमें क्या करना चाहिए? मोर ओवर सर आप कह रहे हैं कि प्री सैंक्शन, पोस्ट सैंक्शन सारा करना चाहिए. ठीक है सर, करना चाहिए. अगर ये सारी चीज़ें करें लोन खराब नहीं होता. लेकिन इतना टाइम कहाँ होता सर मैनेजर के पास कि वो ये प्री सैंक्शन, पोस्ट सैंक्शन करे. आज ये वाली कैंपेन, कल वो वाली कैंपेन, आज इसका कंफर्मेशन दो, कल इसका कंफर्मेशन दो. सर उसके बाद प्री सैंक्शन, पोस्ट सैंक्शन, मेनली जो स्मॉल केसेस आते हैं 50-60,000 के आते हैं सर, सारे NPA पड़े हुए हैं. वो आते हैं, ये हमने ये बिजनेस शुरू करना है, हमने रेडी पे सामान बेचना है, हम ये करेंगे, हम चुका देंगे. 1-2 किस्त आती है, उसके बाद वो खत्म हो जाता है. तो अब अगर हम सोशल सर्विस, सोशल कॉज के लिए देखें तो हमें हेल्प करनी चाहिए उस बंदे की, क्योंकि उसकी इनकम जनरेट होगी, उसकी फैमिली चलेगी. लेकिन लोग समझते नहीं हैं. इवन 90% लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो डिफॉल्टर होते हैं. 10% ये केसेस होते हैं वो जेन्युइन होते हैं. वो 10% केसेस हम कैसे चुन सकते हैं? हम कैसे पता लगाएंगे कि ये बंदा सही है कि नहीं? मोर ओवर जब आप दूसरा मैनेजर आता है, वहाँ विजिट पे जाता है, वो पर्सन ही नहीं लोकेट हो गया, आगे पीछे वाले से पूछोगे वो भी हेल्प नहीं करेगा. तो इस केस में हम क्या कर सकते हैं?
बताते हैं, हम आपको बताएंगे. और कुछ
सर ये बैंकिंग का सर
और बोलिए.
सर ये
पूरी इंडिया की बात, अब पूरे देश की बात आपने नहीं खाती. डोंट पुट जम्मू कश्मीर, इट्स ऑल होगा, और होगा. देन द चेंज ऑफ मैनेजमेंट.
मैं आपको बात बताऊं,
मैं सुन लिया.
BC लेटर साइन करवाना वो प्रॉब्लम है.
समझ गया. सब चीज का एड्रेस है. जैसे मी केयरफुली, you know, I told you, I've already passed through this stage. Okay. Now you're talking about this scheme. Here there used to be a scheme called IRDP. There used to be a scheme called CUSEEUY. There used to be a scheme called SEPA. There used to be a number of schemes like this. Okay? I face this. I'll give you a practical solution. Don't worry. I'm here because I have something attachment with the where I'm standing at the moment. You know, I respond to practical solutions I'll give you. And this is a problem all over everywhere, not in Kashmir, everywhere. Yes, any other question? Any other? The beautiful thing is asked. I'm happy. Yes, you're strong. Good. What's your name?
सर मनोज कुमार शर्मा.
Manoj Kumar Sharma. Good. Any other question?
सर मेन क्वेश्चन तो यही आएगा, लोड काफी है, मतलब जैसे कोई फंड्स लिटरेसी के
चलो वो तो डे बाय बताइए, नया पॉइंट। ठीक है माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, let me tell you honestly about this. This is recorded also, so I'm not worried. Okay, Mr. Sharma? Because I face these things, you know. As a branch manager or as an officer in charge or as an incumbent in charge, you have been given around 60-65 targets. Okay? You have a target for agriculture advance, you have a target for priority sector, you have a target for deposit, you have a target for advances, you have a target for NPA, you have a target for profit, you have to send these statements, this time there is the around 60-62 targets are there.
Moreover, the stock problems.
I'm repeating. I'm coming to your point, don't worry, I will not go till you are satisfied. Right? And about that, you say lot many cases are sponsored by different agencies. Okay? Under various schemes, etc., etc., etc. Everybody knows about that. Probably you are not listening me carefully. Mr. Sharma, what happens? We are working in a society, we are working in a culture where we have all these challenges. I fully agree with you, there are a lot of pressures, a lot of things are there. You are not concerned if it is sponsored, you are bound to sanction it. I am not saying don't sanction it. Note down my words. You have a lot of work, you have to go to the PC, you have to take the balance confirmation letter, you have to go this, that, everything. Okay? I don't have a blackboard here, I would have written only one word, it would have been clear to you. There is one word in management always noted, that is called the time management. Okay? Time management means, I know the pressure constants, I am not a theoretical man. Not that I put in 40 years plus 2 years, 42 years. I worked in an industrial house also initially from the college. That I don't want limit. I worked for 2 years in the industrial house also. From the college I was taken in one of the big industrial house. Campus recruitment. So Mr. Sharma, the point for all of you, you should not say no for such advances. Whosoever sponsored the particular department or whosoever, you are not concerned, give and take, and I don't talk those issues. My simple point is, as a trustee of the funds of the public, you have to see, it doesn't take, let me tell you, you said pre-sanction, these are big words, pre-sanction, post-sanction, tactics. What I have spoken? Nothing. I said, you simply talk to him for 5 minutes. Okay, there is a thinking in it, somewhere in the branches, you know, when your successor comes, he says all things are bad. And when you take over, anybody takes over, he says whatever he has done, all of us I will not follow. But this thinking is changing now day by day. The way the young generation is coming forward, these things are changing. That is the reason I am here, to make you feel that you are the trustee. I never say you are the employer. I have never used the word you are the employer at the bank. You are simply acting as a trustee. Somebody from the top, God has given you this status to help somebody, some people. I quote you an instance. Listen, the write-off you said. You said the write-off and all this thing. Everybody is with me now. Not early for lunch? No. Sure. I went to Yamunotriji when I was senior regional manager. Okay? The moment Yamunotriji is the top of the hills, you know, and I like those places. You know. I went, we have a branch over there. The moment I went there, around 200 or 250, you know, खच्चर वालों को क्या बोलते हैं उनको, they घेराव में, साहब आ गए. It was around 4 or 5 in the evening, and it was a winter time. Well, imagine how cold it would be. Luckily, Mr. V.K. Sharma was the manager. Okay, and I said, V.K., what is the problem? He says, "Saab, there is a problem. What is the problem?" साहब लोग के खच्चर मर गए और हर हम 1 महीने के बाद वो नोटिस निकाल देते आरसी में, और वो आ जाता है, वो 5-7-10 रुपए देकर चिट्ठी आ जाती है कि साहब ये रहता नहीं है, या घर बंद है, ये है, वो है, हम मेरे को भेजते हैं, बेचारे मर गए. Okay, same to make you aware how to act, you know. This should be a strategy. बेचारा मैनेजर क्या करे? कहते साहब हम तो कानून के हिसाब से हर महीने नोटिस निकाल देते हैं, वो SDM DM जो भेजते हैं और वहाँ से वो मुहिम डालता है, वो लिखा छुट्टी बिट्टी लिखता है, बंदा ताला बंदा फलाट जो भी नॉर्मल सिस्टम होता है। मैंने भाई देखो ऐसा है, उनने प्रधान लिया है, अब तो मुझे दर्शन करने जाने दो वहाँ पर यमुनोत्री जी के, ठीक है ना? शाम को मैं सुबह दर्शन करके 5 बजे, मैं 9 बजे नहीं हूँ, तो ऑफिस टाइम में मैं नहीं जाता, ऑफिस टाइम में ऑफिस में रहता हूँ। मैं कह जी हाँ जो भी करे इसको हम आ गए वहाँ पर 9 बजे, सब लोग खड़े हुए थे प्रधान वगैरह, अब ब्रांच तो इतनी सी थी, अब बेचारा मैनेजर भी वही सोचता था आपको, बर्फ में रहती थी ब्रांच। खैर वो स्टोरी अलग है, मैंने कहा भारे कुर्सी टेबल पर कुर्सी लगाओ, मैनेजर की टेबल बाहर रख दी हमने और 2 कुर्सी लगा दी। मैंने वही प्रधान को साथ में बैठाया, सब लोग लाइन में लग जाओ। लेजर खोल लिए वो हरी शीट वाले, एक का नाम बोला, देखो उसका लेजर क्या है, मैं तो कितने पैसे देने हैं? बोला जी 2800 रुपए देने हैं, 3000 देने, 5000 देने, और कितना होगा? इतने होगा लोगों का। कितने पैसे है तुम्हारे पास? बोले सामने भाई इतने पैसे हैं। और पैसे तो नहीं है, कहता साहब वो मर चुका 3 साल से, उसका खच्चर जो था, मैं कहाँ से दूँ पैसे? मैं कैशियर को बिठा दिया, वो मैनेजर ही कैशियर था बेचारा, सारे लोग वही करता था, मल्टीटास्किंग, जमा करा खाते पे, जमा कर पेपर पे लिखता गया, ठीक है। 100-150 जितने भी लोग थे, 200 पता नहीं, सबसे डिस्कस करके, ऐसे नहीं, नोट डाउन पॉइंट, ये नहीं, ब्लाइंड, never act blind in the bank. Always, or 3 eyes should be open, not 2. Discuss, prepare a sheet, I sanction on the spot. Then give a copy to me, I'll take to my regional office, I'll send you a confirmation letter, here I'm confirming your action right now. Believe me, about 80% of the funds we recover on the spot itself. How much write-off? Hardly 1 lakh and 2 lakhs. 150 and 200 borrowers were. They said, पता नहीं जिंदाबाद है, मुझे दबा के लगाया। You know, my simple point, Mr. Sharma, is there are certain constraints. I'm not saying this, but as a trustee, you have to do due diligence. If you not do due diligence, it means you are not doing justice to your job. And as far as the pre-sanction is concerned, talking to the customer for 5 minutes, knowing him probably as a professional banker, as a man of money, as a man of trustee, as a man of dealing for the belongings of somebody else, has to take a decision whether this man is genuine or not. This is what the pre-sanction of the small loan is. I never said you prepare financial statement, cash flow, fund flow, projections for next 10 years. What the hell, for 5 lakhs you will prepare tax for 5 years? 5 lakhs. It's your intuition, it's your calculation. You have to understand the customer who is integrity, genuineness, whether he really wants to start it. And post-sanction, I said, irregular interval. Probably you have not noted the word. See the ledger is with you always. You have a CDS system or core banking, whatever it is. In the evening for 5 minutes when you go to the house, open the ledger and see who have not operated. That's all. You should have, you should have ready regular in your pocket. Telephone numbers of all the persons. I was handling the largest branch of India. Largest branch of India. I used to reach office at 9 o'clock. All my 3 chief managers used to come at 9. 9 to 9:30 used to have a cup of tea and used to tell them, they used to give me a list. Some these people have not, the largest branch of India I'm telling you. Some they are not repaying the loan in time, this. I said, okay, give him a call, give him this, send this letter. 9:30 they used to go to their seats, the work starts. And 5 minutes in the evening we are going, used to monitor at 5:15, 5:20. What is the progress? That's all. It's only a time management. It's only a monitoring mechanism. Don't get confused. Don't come under pressure. Don't put strain here. Where, the way we say, I'm working there, you go other parts. How many parts you have seen in India? Tell me. How many loan waivers you have seen? Loan waivers.
Parts I have seen.
Lot of news, not loan waivers. What happens to those branch managers, tell me?
Sorry?
What happens to those branch managers?
Sir, I didn't get you.
I said, don't get tense when the customer comes to you. It's not a problem in one particular bank. Nothing. Always be cool. With a cool mind, you go for pre-sanction by talking to the customer. You set up in your mind the limit up to whatever is your mind permits, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, or whatever it is. You interview a customer, talk to him, see that how you are making the payment. Is it really going to the person from he or she he wants to purchase the things? No. Where is it? From the ledger speaks everything. How many times you see the account of that person? Tell me.
Sir, why renewal of the accounts? So why renewal of the CC accounts and with the accounts are
Other accounts are also loan accounts now. Why don't you see them? And as for the BCs, you said, it's very simple, I tell you.
Sir, while
Listen, I'm giving you solution. Balance the solution you're talking, huh?
no, sir, I am talking.
Time bar that you're talking. Which what?
I am talking about locating a particular customer. Suppose I am posted in new branch in Kashmir.
Correct.
So,
You
limitation
can't do
to
all the things, my dear friend,
I have to locate that.
We have lakhs of branches, lakhs of staff in the banking industry. It cannot be done in overnight. Okay? Gradually, but you have to manage it in a scheduled way. First you see, let me see 50 accounts in the first 10 days. Next 100 accounts in the next 10 days. Then 200 accounts in the next 10 days. You will find if you are mentally relieved, you will be able to work very strongly.